So just full disclosure, I'm about 200% certain that I'm not supposed to have a motorcycle down here. Today I'm finally painting the basement with the first layer of the final coat. Not the final coat, but the final paint that we're going to be using in here. Alrighty, first coat is done. I'm gonna go hang out for a few hours because it takes about 4 hours to dry, but I'm gonna ride the motorcycle first. I had to stop riding because I'm just obsessed with how beautiful the sky is right now. Look at that. It's incredible. Let's talk about this vlog. Last night I was talking to Jennifer about the vlog. Today is vlog 24. I've only missed one day, and that's because of the holiday, Thanksgiving. And so last night I was trying to think of, because I'm getting close to the end of this 30-day vlog challenge that I wanted to do. I was trying to think about what have I learned along the way, and I guess I haven't really stopped to think about what have I learned over the last 24 days. And it really kind of blows my mind that it's been 24 days. It does not feel like it's been 24 days. And I feel like that I should probably go back and rewatch some of these just so that maybe I can see or glean the learning lesson behind it. I started it because I didn't want to have the excuse of not recording. I didn't want to have the excuse of feeling like I didn't have enough material to make a movie on, because for this vlog, whatever I shot during the day, that's all I get. And so in the editing process, that's when I have to figure out, okay, what's the story behind what I've captured? It's really hard to kind of stop and take a look at what you're doing when you're kind of in your own story. I think most days, going into this, I felt like I was going to be able to identify the key storytelling elements, or the key story elements that happen throughout the day. You know, I like to try to follow a 3-act narrative. You know, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You have a setup, you have a conflict, and then you have some type of resolution. And most of our days, we can probably follow that, because you wake up wanting to accomplish something. Typically things get in the way. That's your conflict. And then at the end of the day, there's some type of resolution. It doesn't mean that you accomplish your goals. Failing a goal is a resolution. It's the completion of something, even if it means that you failed at it. And I think throughout most days, because I typically don't know what I'm doing when I start the day, I have an idea of what I want to do that day. It's hard for me to identify those elements as they happen. And I still struggle with documenting or capturing those conflicts, those struggles, because those are real struggles. Those are not scripted problems. Those are problems that I encounter real time. It's like you have to think with two brains. You have to think with your normal brain, the brain that you have to use throughout the day, like a normal person, and then you have this storytelling brain also that's like, oh, well, this is a good conflict to record, and you're like, okay, do I really want to stop myself in the middle of solving this issue to record it? In most cases, it's probably a good idea to do that, but it's hard for me. That is another struggle, to record things. I guess over the last 24 days, the biggest learning point that I have taken away is the discipline to make a video, the discipline to make a film, the discipline to pick up the camera, to at least record something, as opposed to not having the discipline or coming up with the excuse to not record something. I think before I did this challenge, I could come up with more reasons to not make a film or to not make a movie than to actually make the movie. But because I told myself that I would do this for 30 days, that completely just removes that out of the equation. And there have been many times where I felt like, or I didn't, not that I didn't want to record, but I felt like I didn't really have anything to make a movie about. And there have been some times where I didn't feel like the video that I had, even though I set out with intention to record something, I felt like it wasn't a good enough video. And it just so happens to be that is the time that I'm recording this, that is the most watched video in this 30-day series. And Jennifer's the one that told me to upload it. I was like, man, I just don't, it's just me talking the whole time. I don't see how anybody would watch it. Lo and behold, at least 1,000 people did. I'm in a very precarious recording position right now, especially with cameras that are not all entirely waterproof. Actually, none of the cameras on me right now are waterproof. The only thing that's waterproof are my other two action cameras, and those are on the motorcycle right now. It's a beautiful view, though. I mean, look at this. You know? I would say that that's certainly it's not the takeaway that I expected to have towards the end of this, which is just purely that, the discipline to make a video, the discipline to kind of follow through, even though I may not believe in the idea in the beginning, or I wouldn't say it's the idea. I would say squirrel, I think. I don't have the belief in myself to do the video, maybe. I don't know. I usually end up figuring it out anyways. But that's what I'm going to stick with. This challenge has taught me the importance of discipline in making films. I've made more videos in the last 30 days than I have in the last year and a half that I've been taking this channel seriously. Just got to keep going, I guess. Keep improving. It's getting late. I'm going to go home. It's not as cold as I thought it'd be by the river, so I'm still going to hook up my heated gear to see what it feels like, to see how the Del Mar performs. I'm sure that I'll lose a few miles just because it takes up energy, but man, I'm telling you, this is where this bike belongs. Look at that. I mean, don't tell me that this is where this bike doesn't belong. Look at that. It just belongs here. Look how happy it is. Look how happy this bike is. Power on. Alright, everything is on at level 2. There's 3 levels. So medium heat. Oh yeah, instantly comes on. I can feel it. Alright, so there's no way in hell that I would do this with a stock live wire. So even though it looks a little weird having such a long cable, I highly recommend that you do a long one. That way you can still stand up on the bike if you need to. And it won't come unplugged. Working really well. Very, very toasty.